I'm joined by Kevin Schalk, who is the Group Manager at Hydrogen Lab at Bremerhaven at Fraunhofer IWES. So welcome, Kevin.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me.
So would you be okay giving our audience just some insight into yourself and some of the work you've done at the hydrogen market?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm a process engineer by trade. I run the operations at the Hydrogen Lab in Bremerhaven now for 1.5 years, more or less. And what we have here is a research testing infrastructure that has access to its own electrolyzers, one alkaline, one PEM electrolyzer, each on the megawatt scale. We also offer testing for industrial clients. And yes, so we want to help get the hydrogen market up to speed and to accelerate the market uptake and reduce the risk. And well, we have come up to a lot of challenges on the way there. Yeah, the systems are not so mature as you might think. Maybe if you are looking at all the European and also global goals that are out there. So yeah, we're here to try to tackle them one by one, but also on the other hand, offer insight into dynamic operations and how can you evaluate them. This is what we are doing.
Okay, thank you. And so yeah, just moving into some more detail on those challenges. So you've mentioned the maturity of market and technology. Are these sort of the main challenges that you see in the market, or are there other challenges that are worth mentioning?
Yeah, usually you get the challenges whenever you have an interface, and that is interface of a whole electrolyzer system to the customer, for example, to an offtake site, but also inside the systems, because a lot of manufacturers are developing just part of the system. Some are integrating a stack into their plant, and some are building a plant around their stack development. So as it's usually the case, the manufacturer have their core business units and are taking mostly commercial off-the-shelf components. And to get them to play nicely with each other is an ongoing process. And on the other hand, there's already a huge incentive to scale up to meet the market demands. And I think these are a little bit at odds at the moment. So megawatt systems that have not been fully developed to be like a industrialized, serialized product to be really reliable. And on the other hand, there's already a market for triple-digit megawatt systems and upwards. So somehow we have to get those two challenges together to play with nicely.
Do you feel that the challenge to scale up is sort of hindering that real focus on the projects at pilot and megawatt level?
I think it takes away a little bit from that, yes, because scaling up such a production line is a huge task in and of itself. You have to get more people on board. You have to train them. This is another important aspect to get all the service technicians on the field to help with integration. This can also slow things down, but of course, building a factory is also not done overnight. So yeah, there has to be found some middle ground where you can get the best of both worlds. And in the end, this is really also why we chose to build this lab to give an opportunity for people to help to train to try out the products.
Yeah. Okay. And going back to this sort of lab, and you mentioned earlier the interface and the integration that's needed, and one of the challenges. How is your lab helping to negate those challenges? You've mentioned working with industry and projects you've mentioned to me previously. Would you be okay going into a bit of detail?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, we do have our own systems, not only electrolyzers. We also own and operate combined heat power plant. We have a fuel cell here. We have also some distribution equipment. We have a low pressure, high pressure storage vessels and compressors that we run, as well as a trailer filling station. So we can look at the whole chain of hydrogen production from wind energy, which we have also on site here from a different operator, all the way to filling the hydrogen into a trailer for transport. And this is what we can offer with our own infrastructure. We can operate for certain use cases. We can see how do the systems react. Of course, there are only two examples of those systems, but I think you can deduct some general insights about electrolyzers and what does go and what does not go so well, especially with a focus on how does the regulatory play into this. What if you're producing according to the Renewable Energy Directive? There are some boundaries, and this is what we want to to offer on the research side. And on the other hand, we have built our infrastructure in a modular sense so that you can actually come with your equipment, put it here, and have it tested and evaluated by us from an independent third party. And because we are also trying to push the dynamic evaluation of electrolyzers, so running under the scheme that we are putting out there into the global standardization. This is what we can apply. We are at the front of this development right now.
Yeah, thank you. And sort of finally, I want to ask about sort of your overall outlook. Obviously, you work very closely with the technologies. We've got, increasingly approaching targets. We've also had, announcements of new funding from the European Commission. What, in your view, is that sort of outlook going forward over the next 10 years with renewable hydrogen? Do we have the possibility to scale? Or, what's your view?
Yeah, I think the future will be there will be a lot of hydrogen developments. I think they will be slower than anticipated still. I mean, there have already been a lot of projects being cancelled due to lack of an economic perspective. But I think there is no question about if hydrogen is coming. It is coming. The question is more of when are we there that we can really roll out these huge plants that are being planned everywhere right now. Scaling up the industry is one part. Scaling up also the trained service personnel all over the world, it's another part, which is huge. And then, of course, gaining this insight into the operability, do all the regulatory schemes fit? Because in the end, these are also made on, let's say, speculations and thinking about how does the world actually go without having access to the real world data. So I think we will see a large uptake in hydrogen economy, but there will also be a lot of development work going on that has to be done in parallel because we simply do not have any time to wait for the developments and then scale up. We have to scale up now and develop in parallel.
Okay, brilliant. Well, yeah, brilliant. Thank you for your time, Kevin. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
No problem. And for anyone who's interested in joining Kevin and a host of top quality speakers at World Electrolysis Congress, will be in the Köln Messe in Confex in Cologne from the 10th to the 13th of February next year. So yeah, thank you again, Kevin.
All right. Bye bye.